Did you know that most people spend their entire lives waiting for their moment to arrive, without realizing that this moment is already here? Today I'm going to tell you the story of a Zen master who changed a man's life with a single sentence. And by the end of this story, you'll understand why everything you're looking for is already on its way to you. You just need to understand how to receive it. This is not just another story. It is a mirror in which you will see your own search reflected. In the mountains of northern Japan, during the Edo period, there lived a merchant named Takashi. He was a 45-year-old man, a tireless worker, respected by his community, yet deeply unhappy. Takashi ran a prosperous silk business. Every morning he opened his shop before dawn. Every night he closed it long after sunset. He calculated, organized, planned. His mind never rested. Despite his success, something tormented him. The constant feeling that his real life was somewhere else, waiting for him. When I have enough money, he would tell himself, then I'll start truly living. Then I'll be happy. Then I'll find peace. But that then never came. His children grew up without really knowing him. His wife learned to live with a ghost who shared her home. Takashi was physically present, but his mind was always traveling toward a better future that never materialized. One night, after another exhausting day, Takashi closed his shop and walked through the empty streets of his village. The full moon lit his path. In that moment of silence, something inside him broke. "What is all this for?" he whispered to the wind. "I've worked my whole life and I feel like I haven't lived a single day." The next day, Takashi made a decision that surprised everyone. He would close his shop for a month and travel to the mountain where, people said, a Zen master of great wisdom lived. "Have you lost your mind?" His brother told him. "It's peak season. You'll lose a fortune." But for the first time in decades, Takashi didn't calculate the cost. He simply left. The journey was difficult. The mountains were steep, and the path treacherous. Takashi, accustomed to the comfort of a merchant's life, suffered every mile. Blisters on his feet, pain in his legs, the weight of his pack pressing into his shoulders. But he kept going. After 5 days of walking, he arrived at a small wooden temple almost hidden among the trees. The place was so simple it seemed like part of the forest itself. A perfectly raked stone garden stretched out in front of the main building. In the garden, an old man with white hair was raking the stones with slow, precise movements. He did not look up when Takashi approached. "Master," Takashi said, bowing deeply, "I have traveled 5 days to find you. I need your wisdom." The old man continued raking. Silence. Takashi waited. Minutes turned into an hour. His impatience grew, but something told him he must remain still. Finally, without stopping his raking, the master spoke. "What are you looking for?" "I'm looking for happiness," Takashi replied. "I'm looking for peace. I'm looking for the purpose of my life. I've worked without rest for 25 years, and I feel I've lost something essential. Where is what I'm looking for? When will it arrive in my life?" The master stopped raking. He slowly turned toward Takashi. His eyes were deep, like ancient wells. "It has already arrived," he said simply. Takashi blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" The master smiled slightly and said something Takashi would not understand until much later. "Everything you are looking for is already here. The problem is not that it hasn't arrived. The problem is that you are not here to receive it." Those words echoed through the silence of the mountain like a temple bell. And then the master did something that would change everything. "Stay," the master said. 3 days. I won't teach you anything. You will simply be here." Takashi agreed, even though he didn't understand what that meant. On the first day, the master gave him a simple task, to sweep the temple. "Sweep," he said. "And while you sweep, just sweep. Nothing else." Takashi took the broom. He began sweeping mechanically while his mind flew from one thought to another. He thought about his shop, about the money he was losing, about whether this journey had been a mistake, about what his wife would say when he returned. After 10 minutes, the master appeared. "You are sweeping, but you are not here," he observed. "Your body moves the broom, but your mind is hundreds of miles away. Start again." Again and again, Takashi tried to sweep with full attention. Each time his mind escaped, and each time the master made him begin again. Hours passed. The sun moved across the sky. The shadows changed. And finally something happened. At one moment, Takashi felt the weight of the broom in his hands. He truly heard the sound of the bristles against the wooden floor. He saw the particles of dust floating in the beams of light. He felt the movement of his own body. For the first time in decades, Takashi was completely present. Tears began to roll down his cheeks. He didn't know why he was crying, but something deep within him had been released. The master nodded. "Now you are sweeping," he said softly. That night, Takashi couldn't sleep. His mind was racing, but it was different. They were not the usual anxious thoughts. It was something closer to wonder. Throughout the following day, the master taught him what he called the practice of being here. He taught him to walk while feeling each step, to eat while tasting every bite, to sit while feeling his own breath. All your life, the master explained, you have been running toward the future or fleeing from the past. You have never been in the only place where life truly happens, this moment. "But master," Takashi argued, "if I don't plan for the future, how do I secure my well-being? If I don't think about the past, how do I learn from my mistakes?" "There is a difference between using the mind and being used by it," the master replied. "You can plan without being lost in planning. You can remember without being trapped in the past. The key is knowing where your center is." Friends, if this story is resonating with you, if you see something of your own life in Takashi's journey, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Each week I share Zen stories that can transform your perspective on life. Tap the bell to receive notifications, because what comes next in this story reveals the deepest secret about self-trust. Let's continue. On his third day at the temple, Takashi woke before dawn. He went out into the garden and found the master sitting in meditation, motionless like a statue. He sat beside him in silence. When the sun began to rise over the mountains, the master opened his eyes and smiled. "Tell me," he said, "what have you understood?" Takashi took a deep breath. "I think I've spent my entire life waiting for my life to begin. Waiting to have enough money, enough time, enough something. But that enough never arrives, because I'm always chasing the next thing." The master nodded. "And what is it that you have truly been searching for?" "At first I thought I was looking for happiness," Takashi admitted. "But now I see that what I was really seeking was to feel whole, to feel that my life has meaning, to feel that I am where I'm meant to be." "And where are you meant to be?" the master asked gently. Takashi looked around. The temple, the mountains, the sky slowly filling with light. "Here," he whispered. "Always here. In every moment." For the first time, the master smiled broadly. "Now you understand the title of your own story. Trust yourself and it will arrive. What you have been searching for cannot arrive because it never left. It was already here, waiting for you." "But how do I trust myself?" Takashi asked. "I've made so many wrong decisions. I've wasted so much time." The master stood and walked to the edge of the garden, pointing to a cherry tree that was beginning to bloom. "Do you see this tree? It trusts completely in its own nature. It doesn't try to be a pine tree. It doesn't worry about whether its flowers are beautiful enough. It simply blooms. And by blooming, it fulfills its purpose perfectly." "Trusting yourself doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes," the master continued. "It means you trust your ability to learn, to grow, to find your way. It means you stop seeking validation outside yourself and begin listening to the wisdom that already lives within you." Takashi felt something expand in his chest, a sense of warmth, of possibility. When you trust yourself, the master explained, you stop resisting life. And when you stop resisting, life flows toward you naturally. Opportunities arrive. The right people appear. Solutions manifest. Not because you do more, but because you are aligned with who you truly are. So everything I need is already on its way? Takashi asked. Everything you need is already here, the master corrected him. But yes, when you trust yourself and remain present, what has not yet arrived will find its way to you. The universe responds to your frequency. And the frequency of trust is magnetic. They spent the final hours of the day in shared silence. Takashi watched as the master tended his garden, prepared tea, swept the steps. Each action was complete in itself. There was no rush, no urgency, only pure presence. At sunset, Takashi prepared to leave. He bowed deeply before the master. "How can I thank you?" he asked. "By living," the master replied simply. "Live each day as if it were the only jewel you possess. Because it is." Takashi descended the mountain transformed. Not because he had learned something new, but because he had remembered something ancient he had always known and forgotten. When he returned to his village, his family noticed the change immediately. There was stillness in his eyes, presence in the way he moved. He reopened his shop, but now it was different. He served each customer as if they were the only one. He truly listened when his wife spoke. He played with his grandchildren without thinking about unfinished accounts. And something strange happened. His business prospered more than ever. Not because he worked longer hours or pushed harder, but because people felt something different in him. Trust, peace, presence. Opportunities began to appear naturally. A merchant from Kyoto offered him a partnership. A local noble became a regular customer. His reputation grew. But most important of all, Takashi was happy. Not because he had more success or more money, but because he had learned the secret the Zen master had taught him. Everything you are looking for is already on its way to you. But it will arrive when you are here to receive it. Self-trust is not arrogance. It is not blind belief that everything will turn out exactly as you want. True trust is deeper than that. It is the certainty that, no matter what comes, you have within you the ability to handle it. It is knowing that you are enough right now just as you are. It is understanding that you do not need to be different to be worthy of what you desire. When you trust yourself, you stop chasing. And when you stop chasing, things begin to find you. Takashi's life did not become perfect. There were still challenges, losses, difficult moments. But now he faced them with a different quality. With presence, with acceptance, with trust in his own ability to navigate whatever came. Friends, this story is not only about Takashi. It is about each of us. How much time have you spent waiting for your life to begin? How many times have you postponed your happiness until that perfect moment arrives? The perfect moment is now. The perfect place is here. The perfect person is you. Trust yourself, not in the sense of having all the answers, but in knowing that you can find them. Trust your path. Trust your rhythm. Trust that what is meant for you will arrive. And while it arrives, live. Live fully in every moment you are given. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to this channel. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And above all, carry this message with you. Trust yourself, and everything you are seeking will find its way to you. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I'll see you in the next Zen story. Namaste.